think once we hit 9, 10, I'll start. But yeah, here's Vortex Gallery. It's gonna be a bunch of tournaments. The Discord's open publicly, so is registration. Let me pull out the link for that. And this is obviously like a large volunteer effort online, so if you're interested in volunteering, you can always hit up the link, vortexgallery.moe, which I dropped in the chat, and see what games you'd be interested in, you know, organizing, commentating, streaming, stuff like that. There's a pretty large lineup already of at least like 40 games and about 80 total brackets, counting all the separate region lock brackets. If you want to go over the games list, we've got, let me actually pull up the full image from StartGG for that, because I think that tells it all rather than me trying to explain it all. So let me pull that up real quick. So yeah, there you have it. Just a ton of games. And the ones I'm going to be organizing this time around are Dankuga, Double Dragon, a Ring of Destruction, and Samurai Shodown 3, which is a pretty interesting selection of games, right? So I guess at this point we can go over kind of what interests me about each one of these games and why I'm choosing to run them at Vortex Gallery. I'm honestly surprised I got picked for all of these games, but I'm going to do my best to deliver on that promise, and they're going to be region locked to likewise North America, South America, and the exception being Samurai Shodown 3, just because that game has such a widespread community and a small one. So we would be ruling out like competitors we have from Europe, the Middle East, at least one from Southeast Asia, Lava Level Lover, who is very skilled, and he's from, I want to say Singapore. So that's pretty neat. And yeah, it'd be a big shame to rule anyone out like that. But as for the other games, they've kind of, you know, Dankuga, Double Dragon, Ring of Destruction. Double Dragon is another one that has a pretty widespread community, but I think the majority of them are located in South America, especially Brazil and Colombia. So it makes most sense to keep it locked like that just for consistency. And because the available time for me is like mostly at night on East Coast, so it'd be hella late for anyone, you know, east of that, anyone across Europe or Asia to enter. That'd be at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., or later for them. All right, I think this is a good time to start running the highlights here. Well, let's go alphabetically. I'm going to start with Dankuga over here. Again, let me know if the audio here is too loud. Turned it down a bit so you guys should hopefully have no trouble hearing me, but once again, if anyone's got questions to ask in the chat, just feel free to weigh in. Now, I personally invested a lot into Dankuga. I pretty much
what's the finisher?
Finished up its wiki.
Not bad.
I wasn't like the sole contributor to that. That a lot of that credit goes to Argyle as well, who made it what it is, especially like the FAQ section, and he filled out a lot of Kazuya's page because he was one of our earliest Kazuya players. But yeah, I see a lot of potential in this game that hasn't been explored yet, unfortunately. I think the same goes for the handful of people currently playing it.
Everyone can crouch under Boggy's
Because they can probably like name all the current players and count them on one hand, which is unfortunate. I think this game is deserving of a lot more time. You can see there's like
it's like they wanted to do a
already a pretty developed mind game.
That was
That was a sick cross up from Toast Rider.
pretty famous
yeah.
for all their game soundtracks.
There's like
and
an emergent metagame
I don't know
from
who
just
specifically like worked
the
on
common
this
reset
game, but-
situations that you'll
Oh,
see.
shit.
Like if someone gets
got the
air
daisy, that was a
reset
great
or
pickup.
anti-aired, you can
Oh,
act pretty
from the
quickly
corner.
after that, which leads to this mind game of
Ooh,
they're
look at
floating
that
in the air. I'm
cross,
just gonna go for like a instant, air-to-air jump heavy kick or something, which they can mash to get out of.
bit of a- bit
But
of a
you can
mountain to
counter their
climb,
mash
but
by doing a delayed
I can still
anti-air,
do this.
like that, like,
Not if that happens.
She's
like
got
Jay
kind of
Wong's
a-
doing right there.
Kind of a weird zoning game too. If she wants to play like that.
But naturally, every character in this game has a dive kick, and you can use the delay on the dive
You know,
kick
he's got,
naturally
like,
to
really
beat out the delayed
like, really
anti-air.
explosive movement.
So you're not helpless
Right.
as
See
the
how much
defender,
damage you get off this.
and as the attacker,
Ooh,
you've got to
that
kind of
works.
consciously rotate those
Mhm.
options,
Nice nose
or
meaty
just
slide.
sit there and
Another
react
meaty
to what they're
slide.
doing. Block first and foremost, and then see what's up.
Ah,
And then
overhead.
end it with the overhead.
Because if they're
Yeah,
mashing
that one
something,
makes sense. If you're
and
gonna
you're
go
holding
for
back,
raw
you'll just
slide or
activate
overhead.
proximity block. And then a handful of characters have got unique air movement
no,
options. Like
like
Seiko's got air tatsu, Bart's has got his
Wow.
unique 4-6K dive kick that you got to watch out for.
Oh. Yeah, Bart's flash kick is.
But yeah, it's just
super
a very
unreliable
interactive
at
game
times,
that
just
is-
'cause, like it's not
that
invincible all the way,
explosive
it's only for,
outside
like,
of
2 frames on
if
startup.
certain characters like Azteca, especially Boggy
Rolling crash out
and
of the reset
Liza,
again.
if they get you in the corner, they can pretty much touch a death
Bart's
you.
just kind
But
of running his game in the corner.
if they don't get you in the corner,
Boggy's
then
kind of a weird position
then
on
it's not
that.
nearly as
Oh.
severe.
Yeah, he gets his flash hit called out again. Oh, gets a throw.
Immediately throw.
It feels like a very interesting evolution of the
You're
kind
not
of
gonna be able to get away with meaty layers
kind of what
like
I'd say
that.
is like a lost, slower
that-
game
that right
pacing
there.
Okay.
that I think
Kazuya's
is like
one of those characters.
the
so
reason
he's-
that people
he's
continue
got
to
a
play a
bad hit by
game
that.
like Street
So,
Fighter 2 Champion Edition
So,
or
pretty
Fatal
nice
Fury Special, and it doesn't have the lane gimmick of
good
special,
sweeps.
a Fatal Fury Special, but it's got the instead it's got the dive kicks, it's got juggles, it's got a lot of real expressive
call.
tools like that
Oh.
Grand Viper right there, which is as good as it looks, is surprisingly balanced. Something that Zar will always say is that the risk
good call
reward
out
is
there.
something you've got to manage, and every character can punish Grand Viper on block. So
Oh,
blocking
right.
your Grand Viper will
Shaiba's
usually
actually
net
using
you
the super
about
now. That makes things
the
a
same
bit
sort of
scary.
punish or the same sort of damage
Ah,
that
air
Kazuya
throw
would have
again.
done if he landed it.
Fierce Knuckle gets the
So
rock.
you watch out for that, and
Oh.
eventually,
That was weird. All
Bit
right.
of a
eventually you
weird-
learn to
yeah,
take
that was
advantage of
strange.
that, and Kazuya can't
I've
just
seen that happen
spam Grand
before.
Viper at any opportunity.
Again,
Or
no
if he
punish.
continues to do it, then you continue
Might need to
punishing
go to
for
like
it. It's that simple.
like a medium there.
Oh yeah, out of range for that sweep.
And
so he's
but
gonna
yeah, I've done a
just,
lot for this
press it
game.
again.
I think it
good
kind of
flash.
peaked
Right,
pretty
get
close
right
to the
into
start,
it.
where I went
trying
from
to slide
like
under those
organizing a
fireballs.
tournament, which NYC Furby very
Damn,
graciously
those-
agreed to stream for me,
Stunned. All right.
and kind of blow that
Solid
up.
Punish.
I think that got like
I know
16
Jay Wong,
entrants.
not
And
being
I think
forced to get
Vortex
fancy
Gallery
with combos
2021
here.
also got 16 entrants, but it's been kind of a slow decline from there, I think, because people were not thrilled about like the slower pace of the game as people got more
McCoy does have kind of a low
more
jump arm, but
conscious
it's
and
not the
aware of that.
Notorious where you can't jump over
because
the
this
fireballs.
game is very like
Yeah.
anti-tick throw.
He's
There's
a little
a,
bit more equipped than
20
Humble
frame
and Artorias.
Sort of there's a 20 frame throw protection
Dang.
when you get hit or when you block something,
Got him in the corner already.
so you can't actually like
Oh, yeah, that
get up
stings.
close and tick
Alright.
throw someone. You've got to like save throws as this last mix up option where you can kind of
Yeah,
hit someone, back
oh,
off for a
yeah,
bit,
pretty
and
good
then
through.
mix
Oh,
up,
is he dead?
walk up,
Damn.
strike
Yeah.
throw. But
Who can
it's such a like
randomly
delayed
explode.
mix that creates a lot of space for
It's
counter
real close to
play.
happening.
Oh.
Ooh, big thunder knuckle.
So when you've got like a big life lead to kind of make back, that can be very difficult.
Yeah, right there. Jab's a good option to just punish Tatsu. Even
But
if
I mean,
it's
I'm
not
no
a big
stranger to
one.
playing games where that kind of win
Oh, that
condition is
almost killed.
present.
Good flash kick.
That's true in
Oh,
Cyberbots.
missed
It's
it
true
maybe
in
on
like
the on the
Smash,
projectile.
which
Like
is like
holding up
I used to
back or
play a lot of
something, which-
Smash
I mean,
before I
there's
like
no air
discovered
blocking
fighting
in this
games.
game, but yeah, being in the air is all right. Ooh, all right. Just
But yeah,
puts
I
on
don't
all
have a
extra
lot to say.
damage.
I think
Good
the game has
slide.
been kind of
Right, slide.
in a slump despite like hype
drop,
efforts
press
from
something there.
I'm very appreciative of
Right, in the corner.
Guile
Oh,
Wincourt
nice
for putting out
slide.
his
Good call.
video
Yeah,
on
overhead.
Dankuga because I think the game is like
Is exactly what
a lot
he
of people
needed.
just don't know about it. But I think beyond
Oh,
that, it's
yeah,
just
okay.
not too well understood.
Yeah, that
just-
last that was
So
literally
I'm
the
definitely
tip he
planning on
needed.
putting out a
Move is
video
like
on just
Similar
Dankuga
enough.
as a whole and like
you
the
know,
game mechanics
not too much of a difference between
and
versions.
you know how to play,
Oh,
how
cross-up.
to play around that, like including the whole mind game I
Justin
talked
Wong on the
about
ropes here.
the
Damn.
anti-air kind of reset situation. I'd been sitting on that video for,
That move is
you
just-
know, months at this point. I'd say the actual
Yeah,
editing is
so-
about half done. There's like some clips I need to record, but the
He's up to
the
the
voice work
ceiling
is all
'cause his jump
done.
is so low.
I'm still not
Yeah.
like enthusiastic about it, but I think the Cyberbots video proved that people don't
Does,
really
like,
mind that
Add
much.
some surprise factor to it. Although it is kind of slow, so if you know how that
The main
works,
thing is that,
you
you know,
can
as long as the
anti-air.
information
Oh,
is
man.
good and it's presented well, I think people are gonna like it.
Ooh. Oh. Alright, only a sweet punish. Ooh.
But yeah, I'm just gonna let this
Old
finish
move
up.
for
There's
the
less than a
Ghost
minute
Rider, and
left.
It works out. Oh, what's the punish? Yep. And gets a crush on that first hit of heavy Dankuga. Keep thinking like, is that medium or heavy? Because those moves are interchangeable. Same damage, same stun. Oh. And he is Justin Wong being so patient and just backing up just the right amount to avoid getting hit by Thunderbolt or even having to block it. Oh. I don't know which version. I think that might have been heavy version anyway of Jet Upper. And Justin Wong takes that. Good games. Thanks for coming out, everyone. Thanks for watching and playing.
All right. Next up, we can talk about Double Dragon. Let me pull that one up. Now, y'all have followed me in like the past year. You probably might not recognize this.
Like unique to
They're
this
like
game, but it's very
A
fun when they
handful of
come to
games I
play.
kind of hop between. Well,
It is hard
just
to
because I
remember
found them
that.
interesting
So,
or
like,
fun,
I like that counter.
decided was like no one was running tournaments for them,
Ooh,
so
good
I might as
answer.
well give it a shot.
Oh my god, that
Yeah,
was
you'll see
super
the
neat.
NBN on there. That's nothing but net
Oh,
play. That's
super?
a tournament series
Nice,
that
nice.
I helped like commentate with Shibarizu
So this matchup,
back when he was a lot less busy with
almost like a
projects,
counter
including
with
Vortex
Shodown.
Gallery, Mizumi Wiki, stuff
in
like
the
that.
context of like, oh my god, let's go!
There's fun times,
Classic.
but you know,
Alright, alright.
nothing
Wait,
can
super
last
attack.
forever.
And, then you,
And I think
ooh, double
Shib,
jump.
as much as he misses like being able to stream stuff
Here we
casually
go,
like
my
that,
pressure.
I think
My pressure game, nice
Oh.
though. Oh, let's
I think he's in
go.
a very good position for himself right
Destroyed.
now.
Times, but if you're anywhere like in front of her, that
Yeah,
is
Double
right
Dragon
next
is
to her, that
such a
DP is
weird
gonna
game.
hit you.
It's just
it's
like it's
massive.
a adaptation
And the other
of
thing about
a
her is that
game
on top
that
of
is
that really
based on
good
a
DP,
movie.
her Fireball Super is some bullshit.
which is like
But it also, if it hits the ground,
already
it explodes.
maybe
And
not
that explosion
not
color
off to a good start right
also
there,
has
right?
a hitbox. So it
Probably
actually
brings to
controls
mind
a shitload of space
other
on its
games
own.
that are kind of notorious, like Street Fighter the movie, which itself has
And then
Uh-oh.
Abobo stuns you and
has
does
always
that.
been in a weird spot because it's not that bad of a
Think of it
game,
as,
and in
like, the
fact has like
longest
a
knockdown ever.
passionate community
nice
that has
grab.
been around for a while now. You know, bringing that game to events
Ooh,
like
the back
Magfest and,
breaker?
and stuff like that. You know, I've never been in a much
Oh
of
my
a
God.
position. I don't have setups to spare to run an event like that. So as far as I'm concerned, Street Fighter the movie,
Ooh, good answer.
you know, if people are willing to
Oh, there it is. The
put it
triple fireball.
down
Here
for
it comes.
something like
This is
that,
the
it
Dalton
can't
shit
be
that
too
you
bad
gotta
of a
Oh, the
do.
game.
super? Oh. His super fireball.
got
But anyway, aside from that,
Oh, yeah.
this is
That goes right
a
through
very
them all, right?
offensive game with high damage, you know, generous, just huge
Yeah.
hitboxes, generous invincibility on
Yeah.
certain special
Playing
moves,
really well around that DP.
and a lot of crazy mix-ups that
I
lead to
like-
high
I like
damage
that.
or,
I like that.
you know,
ambiguous,
potential
you know,
stun, infinite, stuff like that.
You know, neutral jump to set up a cross-up. But
Ooh, no. Oh, but
Oh.
And it's always had
The
kind
white
just
one.
this really interesting like international following where
Ooh, good damage.
in China especially it's
That's
one of the
a
more
super, I
popular
think.
games on their service. I believe it's called
Ooh, good
X Zone,
cross.
which is kind of
Okay.
similar to
oh, the
Fightcade.
infinite, yep.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh
finish
yeah,
it
there's
early,
like
you know,
a
don't wanna
quick
drop
Marion
it.
loop right
Okay,
there.
we're over here now.
You can just do that stuff like touch and
Oh,
def
air
from
block?
just
Alright.
from the jump.
I respect it. I'm backing out of there. Oh,
Oh, no punish. Alright.
vaguely unsafe. Oh,
Oh.
no, and wake up.
Ouch.
Man, my stream
Oh,
layout has
yeah.
not changed much, but it's changed like just
Crazy.
enough to be
Actually,
unrecognizable to me.
Fan favorite Dalton.
Anyway, I guess I might as well talk about the actual
Oh,
game mechanics
no.
for anyone who's unclear.
Dalton's ass. Be hit.
So you've got 4
So we
buttons,
see
you know,
Ink do
standard
with the
Neo
Billy
Geo
counter,
stuff.
You know, Billy's a pretty good stun.
But
Bailey is really fucking.
instead
oh
of being
my
like light
God.
punch, light kick, you've got just A, B, C, and D ascending
That's exactly
strings.
Moo Master shit.
So you've got the D button, you know, the 4th
Oh my
string.
god.
No one's quite sure what to call it. You've got light, medium, heavy. Some people go for like heaviest, some people go for like super, which is kind of confusing because you've got like super moves in this game, which work in their own interesting way because you might notice the health bar's got 3 different colors, right? Red, yellow, and blue. And that blue fills up your remaining yellow health. So once you take enough damage, you'll get access to your supers. And they're a lot more like the X moves. You'll see when the name gets replaced with charge, that's when you have your super. So like for Rebecca, she's got, you know, 2, 3, 6, A, B. It can be any 2 buttons, by the way, because those buttons are not restricted to strength. So you can do like A, B, you can do B, D, whatever.
This is firmly in that.
So you've got easy super motions, they do a ton of damage. Most of them are invincible in some way. Alright, except for like the fireball supers here and there. In addition to that, Billy and Jimmy get Dragon Install, which can be done by just pressing A, B, C, B, and you can just hold that down to buffer it, which is really funny. Because their Dragon Install is like actually an invincible attack, where they like transform while rising up, which is really silly in all its own ways.
That Rambo did half his health.
Yeah, right there. There you see it. That's an attack, and they can block out of that, but they can't block air throws. So there you have it. You've got air blocking, and everyone in the game has an air throw except for Cheng Fu, which is to balance him out because his grounded throw will straight up stun you, as like his gimmick as a drunken fighter character is like to... He'll just like blow the sake in your face and that'll stun you off the bat. And that obviously leads into his infinite. It's that kind of game.
Too funny there, but I appreciate it.
Oh, that was brain. Did you see that?
I love
even without the infinites, lots of characters have access to like simple, you know, 40 to 60% combos that may or may not end in stun. Although there's one fascinating thing about stun in this game. You see right there, that's like a normal stun, right? But sometimes you can stun someone, and if you stun them with an attack that knocks down, they'll just be knocked down while stunned. You might see that in a clip coming up soon. I'll be sure to point it out when that happens.
Alright, good punish.
Oh yeah, and Abobo's got to be one of the funniest like large characters I've ever seen. Just look at how much space this guy takes up. Yeah, like there, that's that knockdown stun. Then you can pursue off it,
because
but
I was using 2D a lot.
if you ever like go online in this game, you'll notice people get really good at mashing. And again, I can't stress enough, all these games that I'm running are on Fightcade. You could try them right now if you want.
I think that's dead.
Bobo's got one hella cheap gimmick to him, which is that
That's dead.
he has a super that hits OTG, and it's actually like, you can tell how much faster it is than your average pursuit.
Oh my.
So he can just guarantee an OTG where a lot of characters can't, and it does so much damage.
You have to hear it to believe it.
Murmur, win.
Alright. Get command grab though. Oh, that was a combo. Alright. And then she could do like 2B times 4 into punch.
No, DP again.
If there's anything else I can say, like the tier list in this game,
I almost choked on my water.
I think is like
I think the colors and the sprite work are really
the top
good.
tiers are obviously like Billy,
Like the way the characters look and the animation
Bobo, Marion.
generally is pretty damn good.
I think the next
It
tier under is
stands
like Cheng Fu and
I
Jimmy.
kind of don't like it, but like,
Jimmy actually like
maybe
straight up
that's-
hard counters a Bobo. It's actually kind of
here's what's
embarrassing,
happening
but
in this
Bobo can't
where are
crouch
we right
Tatsu,
now?
and Tatsu is also plus on block. So you've instantly got like pressure that I think there's actually an infinite block string, and if not, the best thing a Bobo can do out of that situation is chicken block out and eat a lot of chip damage for it.
You gotta have good vigilance with it.
Because when you air block, you'll actually take chip damage from normals as well, which is really weird,
Confirm?
but
Real?
not an unfair stipulation considering how the game works.
Cool.
Because there's no air unblockable attacks by default.
Alright.
Oh no!
Yeah, that
But
wasn't
yeah,
much of a stunt.
so you've
punch,
got
but it's all right.
Billy,
She's comfortably
Abobo,
got the-
Marion.
Oh,
You've got
yo,
Cheng Fu
yo.
and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Backdash, air super.
I think just
that's
below
some
that
cool
you've got
shit.
like
The main weakness of Billy
Burnov,
is he doesn't have a lot of
Amon.
horizontal reach in front of him,
Yeah,
but
it's
it
not
covers like above him really.
I'm trying to remember if there's
It's
anyone
not,
else I'm forgetting.
gigantic, like.
But then below that
like
you've got like
versus,
Dalton
but-
and Eddie.
Oh, is that
And
it?
Rebecca's is
even
big,
those
and
characters can
Jimmy
still do
Lee's is
major
actually bigger than
damage.
Billy's, if I remember.
What?
Eddie's got some pretty accessible high-low
I was
stuff
gonna
that
say,
does
wait,
good
what's happening?
damage, and
For
he's
some
got a
reason,
very
I don't
invincible
know why.
DP that just rockets
Hey, there's the
forward
quad fireball.
while on
Here
the
we go,
ground.
zoning.
Oh man, this clip is not playing at
This is
60
it.
FPS.
Get around that
Just
shit.
Neo Geo things. You'll see Dalton's fireball just blinking out of existence.
And then you get around it, and then he runs away. Oh, okay. I was gonna say that better.
But
be
yeah, this
punished.
is
That would've been
this is
really
kind of
good.
a light anime game. It's very interesting in its
No.
own right.
Time
Oh
for
yeah,
Jim.
and there's
Jimmy.
Burnov's super. That super heavy crash is actually completely projectile
Another
invincible.
classic
So if he
matchup.
puts
You
it
can see
out
this
at the
one
right
like
time,
a
he'll
shitload
just
of odds, too.
destroy you, and it does like a full corner carry,
Ooh, you have the toxic for the
similar to
movement?
like Rugal's
Oh.
God Press and stuff like that.
DP and stun.
At this point, I'm just filling air because there's about 4 minutes of this highlight reel left.
Ooh. Yeah, here's the Abobo. Yup.
Not really a lot else to talk about besides that. If you get knocked down, the
Cross
mix
up
in this
top
game
two
is
every time.
absolutely dirty. There's corner cross-ups. There's all sorts of like ambiguous high-lows.
Me too.
I actually don't remember what who this was. I think this might have been
Nice
Moon
combo.
Master playing Billy. Kind of
Yup,
moves that
that's
way,
a
I think.
confirm.
Yeah, the use of the air tatsu is like a dead giveaway to me.
Billy with full super, you know what it's gonna do.
I think that was
very-
definitely Maya Bobo in that situation.
All right. Shalia King's Marion definitely showing up as. How can you even talk about that? Like, why is that move so ignorant? You know,
But you can hit her out of it, so it's okay.
yeah, it's a combo starter. Don't worry about it. Oh, no.
I mean,
Nice
it would
last
make
second
sense
flash
when
kick.
it's giddy, but it just hit, and he linked into the
Oh,
epic.
stun.
We haven't seen much Amon in this
has Link.
compilation just
Not
because
surprising, but it's really
Amon is kind of a weird
That is
character
the
to play.
nastiest,
He
nastiest looking.
has a
pursuit
very
I've ever
floaty jump
seen.
despite
Sad.
being a ninja.
Oh my god, that button hit like
Oh man, that was fucked up.
Oh,
that button
ouch.
really hit that.
And also his stage is just absolutely nauseating. Like it does
No.
not look good.
Oh my god, really?
Switch.
He actually proposed to me like making a rule where if you pick Amon,
Right.
you have to like pick second
What
or
the
whatever
fuck?
will work
Okay.
to allow the game to not load Amon
Mm.
stage.
Oh my god.
All right.
Because it's Skies of
Alright.
Honor and Street Fighter V,
Pretty
it's like
sure
that
DP
but
would go
worse
through
because
here.
it's 2D, but it's like using a bunch of scrolling layers of sprite
I
to
think
create
it
the
is,
illusion
I
of
think it
3D,
If it's not invincible,
and
I'd
it
be
just
really
it does
surprised.
not look very good.
I would be
But I
truly
appreciate that they
shocked.
tried. Like they
Let's
really
look
did
at it.
commit to like the look of this game.
Only the first
It's
two
kind of
frames?
weird. It's not like beautiful the way
Oh, they're actually
your
a frame data check?
KOFs or Samurai Showdowns are,
Oh
but
my
it's
God, Dalton.
it's very colorful and I like that.
That's the secret. Let's see what Moo does, though. Up back is illegal? No.
Oh,
Oh, that was unfortunate. Oh! Let's go! Oh! I'm gonna die. I will die in a good way. It would make me really happy. It's like the only Double Dragon tournament I've commentated in my life. That's fucking Dalton winning the tournament. Listen, that would be. Oh!
oh.
Hey! Moo is really good at seeing when the sweep is coming. Oh no. Says, you're just trying to stop a Bobo from doing that move.
Oh,
Oh yeah, you know what
ouch.
else is funny is
Oh, here we go.
so Boba's got a command grab that will work
Zoneroni
with
time. This is
a
it,
half
this is the
circle in
camera,
either
this is as bad as
direction.
it gets.
But he's also got a
This is where it
632
gets
input, which
epic.
is at chop,
Alright,
and
there
the
we
super
go.
version
Bobo
of chop
expected me to do
is
that.
the ground
Now I
pound
gotta
there,
get
which hits low, mistime that, and OTGs. But it also has this big shockwave around him, which will hit
Oh,
people out of
that-
the air, which is honestly really cheap, and it also protects him from fireballs
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
Grinder. Immediate. The game is over. It's over. You see
Yeah,
that shit. You
but
know it's
yeah,
over.
that's just Double Dragon for you. Up next, we can put on Ring of Destruction.
Yeah.
This is another
It's just
game
a good poke on its
hold
own, and
on.
the combo he can get off it as long as he plays that state right. Oh, good ground tech from Deadly
The running
Raven,
grab
though.
almost beat out the.
Oh.
Yeah, he's
There we
daring
go.
you. Ah,
Oh,
there it
there it
is.
That was a good combo into it too. Oh no.
Hold on,
that's
let me
the
grab
time,
reset
and there's
that.
the rage.
It's just a good poke on its own, and the combo he can get off it
There we go.
as long as he plays that.
So
state
Ring of
right.
Destruction is a Capcom
good-
game that
good
goes in
ground
kind of an
tech.
unexpected
The running
direction.
grab almost beat out
This is
the.
they took sprites from a wrestling game, decided to make
Yeah,
a
he's
straight
daring you.
one-on-one fighter, but
Ah,
Oh,
there it
there it
is.
the core
was a
difference
good
here
combo
is
into
you've
it, too.
got 4
Oh,
buttons,
no.
well, 5 buttons. You've got the
Oh,
SNK
that's the
style, light
time,
punch,
and
heavy
there's the
punch,
rage.
light
Real
kick,
kick,
heavy
that's a lot of
kick.
stun.
You've also got a dedicated
he got
grab
it.
button,
Oh, he didn't taunt
and
first,
that
but
will
still
give
good
you access
damage.
to a few different
Oh, the
throws.
running grab.
You've got
Jesus.
throws based on if they're standing or crouching, and you've got a super throw,
Oh, slide beat
which
his wheel
has
kick.
always got a weird input, but it's simplified a bit by the
There,
fact
he
that,
has
you
the
know, you
corner.
grab someone
Oh,
and you
he
get into
cornered
that
And he has
grab state,
rage.
and then you input
he
the
got out of
super
there.
motion and press grab.
He got out.
So that'll prevent you from
No
like
no
accidentally
longer
moving or
rage.
jumping.
Or rage, rather. Oh, the
And
long,
otherwise, based on how quickly you
nice
press
combo.
grab
Another
after
one.
grabbing
Oh,
them,
stun.
you can
And
shorten
then
their
the
attack
idiot with the
window.
super grab.
Nice.
Yep.
Also, taunting in this game is useful. You can press either light punch, light kick, or heavy punch, heavy kick to taunt. And the next time you land your super throw, it'll be powered up and you'll see that super flash on screen. Otherwise, it is exactly what you expect, just a ridiculous, fast-paced, kind of rush-down grappling type of game.
Oh, but the punish, good awareness.
There's a few interesting mechanics going on. Number one, when you
No.
Yo, he had
throw
the setups.
someone, you
That
can,
was fucked up, 'cause even if
toss them to the ropes for the Irish whip. That is done with punch or kick after grabbing someone.
Oh,
And while they're running to the
Yeah.
ropes, they can mash out. And with good mashing, you can actually mash out before you even hit the ropes. You actually saw it earlier in this
Good
clip,
tech.
not that time, but before that.
Yep.
The Phantom Gamer is one of our better players. He's from Germany, which means unfortunately he will be excluded from Vortex Gallery unless I can work something out where I can stream at a more reasonable time.
The input's a little easier. It's
But I'm thinking of offering, like, as a solution to that, offering like a salty sweet or cage match to kind of make up for it, where the winner of Vortex Gallery will face off against him, maybe in like a 1st to 5 or 1st to 10 set, just to sweeten the
It
deal.
roars occasionally, but it's not very loud.
Because, like, look, I want
kind of
to
like
make
a
everyone
distance.
happy. I just can't in my current situation. I only have so many hours of the day where I can sit
Which one
down
did
and
you
stream
not
or
notice?
play
Did you
video
not notice
games,
the
and
foreground or the background?
that's the way it
The
is.
foreground one was the one I wasn't paying attention to.
Okay,
The
fair.
sound that I feel like is easier to miss. Anyways, this match. Ooh, nice. Was that a cross-up?
But yeah, this is a game that has been kind of
That's fucked up because that move
cast by the
multiple
wayside
times,
by
obviously.
Capcom. I think mostly because of the artist for this
I'm
game,
pretty sure you can't back out.
Tetsuo Hara of Fist
That
of
would
the
be
North
kinda
Star
dumb.
fame. And I'm unclear of how exactly this works, but I believe he owns the character designs for a few of the characters that
Like,
are
I'm
new
wondering if,
specifically
like,
to
if
this
it's one
game,
back
Ring of
maybe
Destruction
it's
Slam
just
Masters
six.
2.
It can't be.
The original Saturday Night Slam Masters, he did the
That
art
must be
for, the
good.
illustration,
They
but did
were
not
fun.
design any of the characters. So he does not technically own them. I think that's what's
Oh, yeah,
going
Stingray
on at play.
Cannon was, that
Now,
one,
what confuses me is why
attack.
Capcom is still allowed to use his art, like for the cover and for the promotional material, because they recently ported this game to Capcom Arcade Stadium or Capcom Second Arcade Stadium, whatever the distinction there is. So there's no problem using the original game. There's no problem using the art, but there is problem using, I guess, the characters that he designed for Slam Masters 2. Or maybe the game just was not popular enough, because I don't think it released in the States. I think it was only Japan and Europe.
I feel like
I got it.
messing around at this point, but that's not what you want to do.
I may be wrong on that part, though. I don't know what the American arcade landscape was
and
like.
That's done, that's it.
I thought for a while the same thing was true of Cyberbots, but Cyberbots did get some US distribution.
Oh, somebody got Saber.
As for this game,
Yeah,
I don't know if I've... Oh yeah, I haven't covered the dash canceling. A lot of normals, in addition to being chain cancelable, or a handful of light normals,
Yeah, I mean,
you can also dash cancel some of them. And as you'll see with Rip Saber here, that
some Indian
leads to some dizzying pressure and potential infinite on hit.
Oh, the infinite.
Oh god, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Again, this is an old Capcom game. It's, you know, after Super Turbo where they were in their kind of more experimental phase.
No way.
Infinite out the grenades. That's nasty.
That's fucked up.
You know, familiar with your Marvels, your early Darkstalkers.
Oh, cruel.
This game was kind of the first attempt at branching out from the Street Fighter 2 formula for them, and I think it worked out really well. It's not perfect, like I said. There are infinites. There's a very top tier character in Rip Saber that you'll see a lot of here. But I think it remains to be seen just how balanced or unbalanced the game is, and how fun it is in practice is what really matters. And I think until more people are playing it, it's hard to make that definitive judgment.
Oh.
Oh, nice. Oh, he messed up.
You know, I mean, they're again, people love Marvel for its brokenness. People love
Cornered again.
how oppressive things get in anime
Nice.
games, and I think this
That might
game is
have
going to be no
been-
exception.
That could be like that clip saved his ass.
Oh, for
That
sure.
was perfect. Oh,
Avoid the grab. Oh. Here's a setup.
block all
Oh.
that. Oh my lord.
Ooh,
That
there it
just
is.
kills.
Well, I think it's time to end this off with Samurai Shodown 3.
Why would you play Clash?
See, that was very great.
Oh shit, number 2. Number 3. Oh, what?
Yeah, I had to let that play out. So, Samurai Shodown 3 is a mess. This game has a lot of problems, and those problems are very funny. You know, we've theory crafted, you know, potential bans, potential like stipulations on infinites and stuff like that. I think the game is best appreciated for what it is. It's got a lot of problems. It is baffling. It is perhaps beyond explanation how this game ended up the way it did. Besides that, it was rushed at like SNK's kind of peak output, I think, in 1995.
That one's really hard to deal with.
This was the same year where they put out like Fatal Fury 3,
So like he's like a clone of me.
which was also not a great game. KOF 95, which was great,
That was a funny animation.
but was also, you know, kind of oppressive in just like how much damage characters did. And, but it was a great game. Samurai Shodown 3 though has a lot of stuff going on. It's got air blocking, which does not sound right in any context for Sam Show. It's got infinites, mostly on back hit. A few characters have on front hit, like Bust Haomaru and Gidro, or Zankuro rather. There's a lot of stuff that just does not make sense the way it works. You'll see blind spots. You'll see cross-ups that don't make sense. You'll just see all sorts of stuff.
Ooh, yup.
But I think the core of this game that kind of gets overlooked is how strong defense
Tank here
is.
is from Trinidad.
I've already covered air blocks,
I had to check
but
that myself.
Oh, that's epic.
naturally
Oh, that was
in
a good
Samurai
meeting.
Showdown jumps are
Oh, do it
instant.
again!
You're off the ground frame 1,
Go!
which means a lot of the time you can just avoid situations in this game by chicken blocking. And
Go!
Ooh, air
outside of the few characters who have air throws, which include, you know, Galford, Hanzo, Nakaruru, I think that's it, actually. Outside of those characters, when you, like, chicken block,
Yeah, he's like.
they're pretty
patient,
hard-pressed to
he
actually
knows
stop
when
you
to
from
go
doing
in,
that,
he's-
outside of, like,
he's got
making a
air
hard
throws.
read and throwing out VP or something.
Again?
Because this game, unlike Double Dragon, does have air unblockable attacks. Most ground pokes and some specials are air unblockable, but it is surprisingly hard to open someone up if they feel like being defensive. And on top of that, you have a deflect guard option select. You can block out of the deflect whiff animation, which means there's a lot of situations where you can, like, say, you know, if someone's poking, you can just kind of force a punish from them. And if you guess wrong, then, you know, you can still just block. And on top of all that, throws are very weak in this game. Command grabs are great,
That's not even a
but your
tap
standard
anymore,
throws
it doesn't
are
charge
13
off,
frame
just
startup,
TP.
unless you're Genjo or Zonkro, in which case they're 8 or 9 frames, I believe.
Does the same damage
But yeah,
regardless of
13
the
frame
slash.
throws, which are so slow. In fact, some characters, if you try to go up and throw them, they can just walk out of range of your throw, no problem.
Nah, you can't do that.
And if not, they can circle step. In this game, we've got 2 unique dodges, which are done with AB. If you are close and press forward AB, you'll do your circle step, which goes around the opponent. Naturally, this opens up your back hits, which lead to, you know, infinites or touch of deaths.
Yeah, it comes out of that
And,
scramble out on top. Comes from
You
that
know,
air
if you
block
circle step
instead.
someone and they try to throw you, they're
This is
dead.
the only Sam Show game to have air blocking.
But on the other hand, you've got command grab, which you can see how fast that is, right? That's frame 3 command grabs.
Yo, perfect.
And you can also set up unblockables with them. You can command grab someone out of block stun. So if you have like a projectile, or if you have a non-recalling move that's plus on block or that is cancelable. For example, Genjo can do close 5B command grab, and if they block that, they get
Wow,
grabbed.
that combo is OP.
And if they get
What the
hit,
fuck
you can
is
just
that?
go into rack up for tons of damage and a knockdown. So it's weird. Defense is really strong, except for against a few characters which happen to be top tier. And it is just a really stressful game, but I think it's funny and I think it's interesting if people actually play neutral in it.
Oh shit.
Because like there are such strong neutral tools in this game that are kind of lost in newer Sam
Let's see
shows.
it, let's see it.
I mean, for one thing, Galford and Hanzo can cancel their 5B, which is something that you would
Let's
not expect
go.
in, you know, it's not possible in 5 Special, it's not possible in Sancho 7. So there are a lot of strong things going for this game. And I think it's just fun to play around with
He's
moves
just
that are so
grabbing in
powerful.
situations I'd never think to do.
In a way, it's like a, you know, beginner's Hokuto no
It
Ken.
has to be a really tight
It's
window,
very
right?
accessible.
There's no way it's not.
It's very fun if you're into like just
Or
messed
tank
up
was expected
set
to
play
grab
and
it.
combos.
We did it enough. We did it again. We would
Okay,
never.
let's see it.
And this game was kind of one of the
Ooh.
first where I really stepped up in like a community organizing role for it.
Said it.
Because I took over from my dear friend Heather when she was in kind of a slump and was not feeling up to the task of streaming Quarantined Rapport, a charity event, which is now kind of, it has kind of run its course. I mean, look, COVID is not over, but you know, things have been returning to offline. And it started as a offline event, quarterly rapport in New Jersey, I
For the
believe.
circle step, let's see.
So I think they've moved back offline, but that niche has kind of been filled by Alex Alchemy's charity
That's
thing, God bless him.
Yo, he's
And I think it's time to bring back Sam Show 3 in a small capacity. So I'm excited to see people discover this game for the first time. And yeah, that's going to be it. Let me look for someone to raid. I think, okay, I'll just throw it over to Roman himself streaming the King of Fighters 15. There we go. Have fun.